Greetings and welcome to episode 6 of Morrowind Modding Showcases. I'm your host Guy, and we have another lineup of 12 great mods for you to check out this week. And as always, you can find the download links for them below. And why don't we go ahead and get started with the popular mod of the week, which this week is Mountainous Red Mountain by Pirate Lord. This mod transforms Red Mountain into, well, a rather more realistic mountain, with steep slopes, spiky rocks, which I should mention are completely optional, and you can find a different.esp on the download page if you don't want to download them, and towering cliffs. It takes a little while to load in on my settings because I have my distant land set to very low in order to not have quite as much lag as we did in earlier videos of this series. Now you may even find a few new 6-house shrines here and there, like this one here on this cliffside. With these changes, Red Mountain has become a truly landscape-dominating feature, unlike the mere hill it was before this mod was added. From these tall, dominating peaks, if you have distant land turned on, and with far higher settings than I do, you could well see most of Vvardenfell and indeed mainland Morrowind if you had temporarily built installed from this great height. This week's house mod of the week is Dark Castle by Laz. Dark Castle is a new home in the Bitter Coast region, as you can see here. As the name implies, this castle has a darker nature about it that is perhaps ideal for more nefarious individuals, such as vampires or necromancers. Though certainly evil-like in its appearance, there is a large array of storage and display for player convenience, so you can display your trophies, whether from good or evil conquests. There's even a throne, accompanied by blood fountains, to truly make you feel at home. While the castle is yours to do with what you will, you may still find some opponents to face, particularly in the torture chamber. And what a torture chamber it is, with a myriad number of devices to assist you in your experiments. Assuming your experiments are involved in inflicting pain and discomfort. Of course, you'll also find other luxuries in Dark Castle, such as a dining room, bloodbaths, couches, and other miscellaneous detail. There's even a rather large library for you to use, no doubt filled with tomes of dark arts. Truly, Dark Castle is a charming home for those of villainous intent. Our gameplay mod of the week this week is Hospitality Papers by Quan. In the past, you could shop at Sadrith Mora without ever buying the Talvani Hospitality Papers. But this mod changes that. Now if you don't have the papers, every merchant in town will refuse you service. Of course, once you actually buy the hospitality papers which were included in Vanilla Morrowind, for a mere 25 septims, this all changes. Now all the merchants will do business with you. So long as you maintain the papers on your person. Likewise, if you choose to join Great House Talvani, and ignoring my cheat stats here, you can get rid of the hospitality papers altogether, and the merchants will still deal with you. Next up, we have the Dungeon Mod of the Week, which this week is Midget Alien and Vality 7's The Never Halls with the Forgotten Halls expansion pack. This mod adds a set of former ruins to Solstheim that are a bit alien in appearance. As a part of this dungeon, you'll fight a number of inhabitants, such as bandits like this one here. You also face the legions of the undead, such as these skeletons, which interestingly enough turn into bone piles once they've been defeated. There are a number of traps strewn about, such as the classic "the floor is lava" one. And of course, spike pits full of skeleton opponents. You'll find plenty of new loot in these dungeons, including the Magicka-based Scylla stones, and the variety of things they're used in. The deeper into the depths you dwell, you'll find large chambers and more opponents to face. You may even find a jumping platform puzzle like this one awaiting you, assuming you can survive this long. For our items mod of the week, we have Danae's Morrowind trading cards. This mod adds a quaint tower on the outskirts of Nissus. And this is where you'll find Magnus, an avid card collector. He'll tell you all about the known card sets, which includes cards for every creature, city, and Daedric prince in Morrowind, not to mention a large number of legendary artifacts. You can see here the list of some suspected card locations for various special cards. There's also a list noting how you can obtain these cards. Note that some cards are only hidden, and still others can only be traded. Once you get some cards, you'll put them in albums like these. Magnus will also tell you what he can about the special cards that are hidden around Vvardenfell. You can buy some card packs from trade houses and other vendors for a pretty septum. They'll respawn fairly quickly as well, so you could end up spending a small fortune on cards. But don't worry, it'll be worth it in 20 years after they've gained in value. Once you have a pack, you can unwrap it to discover what card you got. Now you may hear about other enthusiasts in various towns through rumors like this one. And they may agree to sell you various cards for a price. Alternatively, if you have some extra cards, you can trade with other collectors, as well as gather some information on the locations of some of the rarer cards out there. Some rare cards, like the city ones, can be found in various buildings as seen here, so you need to be sure to always keep an eye out. Once you complete a set and put it in its respective album, you'll get a general update, and your cards will appear on the walls. There's quite a few sets though, so this is likely to take quite a while to get every card in the game. This week's quest mod of the week is Von Django's The Raven. What this mod does is add a narrative quest relating to Sorkvild the Raven in Dagenfell, specifically dealing with his necromancy. In exchange for doing small errands, he'll pay you either in gold or with teachings about necromancy. As part of your quest working with the Raven, you'll intimidate the local garrison of guards and infiltrate the lairs of other necromancers, as you seek to empower Sorkvild, an extension yourself. You may find yourself fighting through an army of animated corpses as well though. For our landmass mod of the week, we have Helos Keep by Sauron256. Helos Keep is a large new island south of Vardenfell. Included on this island is a large, almost magical-like forest. These trees tower over the land below and provide quite a scenic journey through the woods. You'll also find Helos Keep proper, one of the largest castles you're ever like to see in Morrowind. A massive complex of walls, courtyards, towers, turrets, and training grounds. Helos Keep is truly a sight to behold. The castle extends for quite a ways and includes a rather large naval dock, along with accompanying minor coastal fortresses. Here you'll find beautiful courtyards, with walls and arches towering to the heavens above. Not to mention ponds full of lovely koi fish. And there are several chambers just like these throughout the castle. There are hundreds of rooms in this massive castle, such as this atrium here, which makes you feel truly small in comparison. And of course, there's an extravagant throne room with a resident queen in service. You'll also find a priesthood and chapel here. As well as a bath for you to use and relax in. There's plenty to see and do here at Helos Keep, as one of the most complete and large castles you'll like to find in the land of the Dunmer. Some parts of the castle can even be used as a personal player home if you so desire. Next we have our NPC mod of the week, and this week we have Abbot's Waterlife. What you'll find when you play this mod is that the seas of Morrowind are now full of life, and also that there's much more to see and do in the water, as this book demonstrates. Now when you enter the water, besides being attacked by slaughterfish, you'll also find new varieties of ocean life spawning around you. There's a large number of new kinds of fish, which keeps the water a constantly exciting place to visit. You'll also find new things on the ocean floor, such as sand coins, which you can collect, as well as crabs and other crustaceans. Now you can change the settings for this wildlife at any time, including the spawning rate and FPS protection settings. Waterlife will stop spawning certain kinds of fish if your FPS goes below a certain count. As you can see here, there are quite a large number of options for you to choose. Not only are there fish, but you'll also find gondoliers on the waterways, and they'll even give you a ride if you want. Here you can see a few more varieties of fish, as well as more stuff you can collect from the ocean floor. You'll also find seahorses here. Delightful looking fellows, aren't they? Abbott's water life completely changes the sea and makes the water just as much fun as the land. Our new meshes and textures mod of the week is Reclamations in Haldenshaw by Vivec. This mod adds shrine to the anticipation to Haldenshaw Monastery. And they are scripted to provide a number of small blessings. In addition, there's a new fresco in the Monastery of the Four Corners, based on some of the drawings and custom art of Michael Cookbride. This is a small but immersive and lovely addition to Haldenshaw that makes the monastery more unique. For our underrated mod of the week, we have Vivec Flat by Oakham. This mod adds a new apartment to the Mages Guild in Vivec, along with a rather humorous backstory involving the current Archmage, Trebonus. The flat itself is quite lovely, with a furnished dining room and fireplace to keep you warm at night, as well as a bedroom containing an armor mannequin that you can use to display your clothing and armor that you've gathered on your adventures. Not to mention a number of containers for storage purposes. There's also a display room with a number of mannequins and display cases where you can put your trophies under the security of a glass covering. There's also an alchemy lab, with a sorter and individual containers for each ingredient in the game. This is a nice small home with all the conveniences a Archmage could ask for. Next up is our Blast from the Past mod of the week, and this week we have Haldenshaw by Jog. Haldenshaw is a new town in the Bitter Coast region, right across the bay from Cedar Neen. Haldenshaw is a city plagued by thieves, and you'll find a number of quests relating to stolen items here. Such as this lady's stolen manuscript. Besides quests, you'll also find a number of scripted events, like this bar fight. Ultimately, many of the troubles in Haldenshaw are due to a group of thieves looking to set up a thieves guild in town. If you choose to help them out, they'll build a base here, and you'll get a weekly cut of the profits that increases as you rank up in the guild. As you can see here, the Thieves Guild is more of a club, with 16 new quests for members to do. There's also a lot of new scripted activities to try out, such as smoking skooma, which is perhaps not always the best idea. You'll also find a boxing ring in the new Thieves Guild, and you can bet on fights. And you can most certainly watch the outcome. Another little activity is blackjack. That works randomly through dialogue. As you can see here, you won't always win. If you're really hurting for septims, you can also take out a loan here. So long as you can pay it back within a week. Naturally, you'll have to pay interest as well. Finally, we have our bonus mod of the week, and this week it's Vodunus Nucius' House by Horny Buddha. This mod adds an extra reward to the small quest involving Nucius and Cedonine. Now when you help him out, he'll give you his house key as well, as his cursed ring. This is a pre-existing house, and you get it as is. The only changes made are to ownership of items, so grabbing this stuff is not actually stealing. And there's also been a few containers modified to hold more weight for player convenience. This is an ideal purist mod for players just looking for a little place to stay after starting out the game. That's it for our showcases this week. You can find download links for all the mods shown here down in the description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next week. Goodbye.